Okay, so we have a lot to get through today, so we might as well just get started. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the people who came to our Vespers service on Thursday night. It was a dinner Vespers. We've now done 2 of these, which is very exciting. Thank you for coming. We didn't take a lot of pictures because we were having a good conversation about forgiveness, but I appreciate all of you who attended. And then, of course, we had Sunday. Thank you for everyone who came out for Sunday, the first Sunday in Lent. We talked about temptation. Ooh. Something that we sort of hit most Sundays, but we don't necessarily delve into. So we did on Sunday. If you weren't there, you can see the video on Facebook or on YouTube. So, feel free to check it out. What I really wanted to talk about, though, is some things that are coming up. We have a couple initiatives that I just wanted to bring up really quickly. The one of them is a book discussion on this book, Tears We Cannot Stop by Michael Eric Dyson. The subtitle to that book is A Sermon to White America. Somewhat ironically, I guess, it's become not easier to talk about race in certain circumstances, but harder. And this is a book to white people, sort of helping us to understand some of the racial dynamics, of what we call systemic racism. That discussion will happen on March 29th after church. So, church is at 10, usually takes an hour. We need to grab coffee, so sometime around 11:15 or so, 11:30. And we'll talk for a little while. If you want to be part of sort of the pre-conversation, I've been emailing a smaller group of people who are interested. Just pop me a note, send me a message, attach it to this video on either Facebook or YouTube, and I will get it, and I will add your email. It's not very big deal right now. We're just sort of figuring out the parameters of the conversation. It's a very good book, and it's worth checking out if you haven't. So there's that. I also wanted to mention on Sunday we had an insert. It was this insert here for the Eliot Church Religious Education Summer Week. And I'll show it again. You see the dates there. It actually is the last bit of June and the first bit of July. It's a 4-day week. And we're going to try to have a little religious education camp. It can be really hard to get to church sometimes. I think many of you know that, certainly for adults, but also for kids who are pulled in every which way on Sundays now with other events. And so we're trying to figure out a way so that people can come together and have some time, learning in our sort of progressive, non-creedal way some important religious and philosophical principles for life. You can do that at a very young age, trust me. Anyway, it also, and this might appeal to some of you, it does actually also serve as a form of childcare. For those of you who are looking for childcare during that week, a lot of the summer programs haven't started. Please think of us. The hours will be from 8 to 2. I think the Friday is the 3rd, July 3rd, is the official 4th of July. I know it sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Independence Day observed. So it's just 4 days. So a lot of the programs are waiting until the next week, regular childcare programs. But we are not. So use this as a stopgap. We don't mind. But please do check that out. And if you're a member and you don't have children in the age that we're looking at, which is sort of kind of early elementary, ages 6 through 8, please do hand it off to someone. There may be some people out there in your life who are interested. They won't know about it unless you tell them. That's just one of those things. It's the same way that sometimes I point out to you that people won't come to church unless you invite them. Both of these things are true. Sometimes we feel reluctant, but the fact of the matter is you can invite someone to church, they can always say no, and you'll still be their friend. And in the same way, you can hand them this brochure for our summer program, and if they don't want to do it, they just won't. but then they have it and they know what's going on, and maybe they know someone who would. So please do distribute the brochure, and if you need any further information, if you're looking at this on Facebook, there is a Facebook invite right under this video, or a couple posts under this video. Feel free to check it out and just invite your friends. It's not that hard to do. Anyway, it was those two things. Also, just going back briefly to the Vespers service, we're going to have one more dinner Vespers this year, maybe two, but realistically one, and that will be our Maundy Thursday service. So please, if you're interested in the format, please come. We always have a good time, and it's part of the same sort of thing as with the book discussion and the camp. These are ways that we can connect with people that are not just the standard 10 to 11 Sunday morning thing, which can be very hard for some folks who still want to have some connection to their faith journey and some connection to their community. So, so please keep all that stuff in mind. You can rewind the video, play it again. It all works. Or all of this is in the newsletter and in other places on Facebook, along with some other things that I'm not mentioning. So I don't want to go much longer, so I just have a reading. On Sunday, we're going to talk about religion and justice. And so I have a reading for Sunday from William F. Schultz, who is a past president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, but is perhaps better known as being a past president of Amnesty International USA. So here is a reading from William Schultz. Religion and justice are born on each other's wings. What makes them such soulmates? Every single one of us knows what it is like to bleed. Every one of us has experienced pain. If that were not a fact of human existence, we might not notice the suffering of the world. Because it is, we do. Every single one of us knows what it is like to bleed. In one respect, pain is a gift because it cultivates our imagination. Without it, we would be far less likely to rail at deprivation or shrink from cruelty. In the heart of every stranger lurks a reflection of our own. So there you go, from Bill Schultz, Religion and Justice. And I'll see you on Sunday. And until then, you know how to get in touch.